What do you
The
think?
flag of Iowa is upon us. I am here this morning with India May, who is a registered nurse, a library director, and now a candidate for the House of Representatives in the state of Iowa for District 58. India, it is so great to meet you finally and to spend time with you this morning.
It's really good to meet you too. I'm a big fan of your social media and
Stop.
all the things you say. I'm like, my girl.
All the things you say, because famously, I don't know if people know this or not, but at a town hall where Joni Ernst said, "We all are going to die," you were the voice in the crowd that said, "People will die," and prompted her to release that crazy soundbite onto the world, which possibly ended her career as a U.S. Senator.
And not to mention the fake apology video she followed up with. I was floored. I said that was directly personally for me. But I was saying what we were all thinking in the room.
I would like to know though. So she responds with, "We all are going to die." Does she know her coworker is Chuck Grassley, who famously will not? Taking it back to the state level, you are running for the House of Representatives in Iowa. What inspired you to run? It seems like you have quite the resume. You have a lot of experience in the community. How has that informed your decision?
I really thought that better people would handle it, and I would stay apolitical and focus on a career of helping people and connecting them with resources that can improve their situation and solve their problems. And then I saw these resources dwindling, and then I saw people get their rights taken away. Specifically, trans and non-binary Iowans don't have discrimination protections anymore. So I went to a town hall and said, hey, what's up with library censorship? What's up with micromanaging classrooms? And what's up with taking away civil rights? And I learned, because I had stayed so apolitical, that Sandy Salmon and Charlie Thompson, my senator and my rep, were perfectly in favor of all of these measures that I found to be absolutely atrocious. And I thought we could do better than that and show that my district is not as bigoted as it looks.
I feel like the theme of "we can do better than this" has been statewide, countrywide. People will tell me, they're like, "Well, Iowa is now a red state and we just need to accept that." And it's like, no, because I live here. I meet the people. I know that Iowans are better than the representation we're getting at the state capitol. We're not asking for books to be banned, which I love that we're at a library today because it's kind of like a full circle moment. But we are asking for solutions to the problems we're actually facing.
My district is very rural. I have Chickasaw and parts of Bremer and Floyd counties, and we tend to be less educated, but more land owning. We're farmers and we're an older population, and these people are affected every day by these decisions. The kids are going to suffer, and people who have already had a hard time will have a much harder time, especially with things like getting healthcare coverage.
There are a lot of districts in Iowa where the public schools are receiving less and less funding, but the private schools are getting funding. And often you just see the private schools in concentrations like the metro areas.
We have a couple of private Catholic schools, and they do have really high quality education, and we love them. It's no shade to the private schools, but there needs to at least be an income cap so that people who are in poverty can experience a private education. But we can't just shovel gobs of public funding to private businesses ever.
Medicaid cuts are looming. The big beautiful bill, which I've been calling the big bullshit bill, is going to cut Medicaid from over 100,000 Iowans. What does that mean to a district like yours?
It's brutal. I don't think people have really wrapped their heads around it. They are aware that the work requirements are going to be started here in Iowa. And I have had people come to the library and talk to me about these concerns, my patrons. Some of them didn't know that they'd be facing this, and some of them are halfway through trying to apply for disability, and they're getting a lot of runaround and a lot of automated services rather than talking to real people. And they're really struggling with how they're going to make sure that they have healthcare coverage so they aren't facing this dilemma down the road of debt or death. Nobody should have to face that.
You know, we're in a maternal health care desert, the state of Iowa. 1 in 3 counties doesn't have access to an OBGYN. And in a state that just banned abortion access past 6 weeks, that's devastating for a lot of people who want to live here, who want to be able to deliver healthy babies here. When doctors aren't here, we completely lose a part of our community that guarantees that we'll be safe in situations where we're having babies or growing our families.
I think we need more moms and caregivers, nurses and professionals in the state house to make these decisions. If a legislator has to make this decision for people, it should be people who have experienced that.
Now, let's talk about your opponent. So the current incumbent is Charlie Thompson. He is a lawyer You probably have learned more about Charlie Thompson than I have. Could you fill in the blanks for me a little bit?
He is also a real estate investor in our district, and he sponsored some really hellacious bills in the last session that were pretty shocking to me, making the Plan B or emergency contraception a felony to distribute or to use. So that was a doozy. He did speak at the town hall openly about support for the trans and non-binary discriminations protections being removed, and gave this very long-winded and confusing response rather than answering a question directly about that. He would also support censorship in classrooms and libraries, and he told me directly that this was because the American Libraries Association has the agenda to queer the catalog.
Queer the catalog.
Yes, he's afraid that the libraries are turning children gay. That's the type of person that Charlie Thompson is and what he believes in. And I just don't think that represents the people in my district. We know better than that.
There's
We're
been
not
this
Fox News out like that.
Exactly. There's been this incessant like, well, they're gonna turn kids gay. They're gonna do this. They're gonna do that. And it's like, why don't we turn kids educated?
I want to let kids be who they are and keep queer kids alive.
Yeah.
That's our goal. That's the whole agenda of schools and librarians.
The
Thank you.
LGBTQ agenda is make sure that these kids become adults and that
Yes.
they are able to thrive just like anybody else.
The suicide rate is alarmingly high for trans children, and that is just unacceptable.
It's preventable, and it's because of legislation like Charlie Thompson supports that makes it way worse for people, and it ruins lives.
Yes.
And I hope people understand, you might know somebody who's trans, you might know somebody who's LGBTQ. They might be hiding it because you're scary to them, or you're making them feel like they can't be themselves. It's an issue that I think a lot of people think, well, that's other people. And it's like, no, those are people in your community, and those are people you know.
If it is other people that you don't know, what affects you on a daily basis? Are trans people affecting you on a daily basis? Because I think what might be affecting you on a daily basis is the risks of cancer being high, poisons in our water like nitrates. There's issues with our taxes and our affordability. So our lifestyle, our way of living has been affected directly. You can see that at the grocery store and at the gas pump. Those are the things that Iowans are really facing, not this weird trans agenda. That is such a made-up story.
And it's exactly by design, because they know people will be distracted, and it's like the culture war of it all. It's like, well, if we have people distracted by culture war topics, maybe they won't notice that we're failing Iowans at every turn. We're failing them in healthcare, education. Our GDP is the second worst in the nation. Like, we can't even brag about having a solid economy.
Or being fiscally conservative, because we are about to start this budget that runs a $900 million deficit and uses one-time funds for ongoing expenses. And that's unacceptable and unsustainable.
I hope more Iowans wake up to the fact that, again, we can do better. There are thoughtful, caring people in our communities that are stepping up to run because they see what's going on and they notice what's going on at the state capitol.
Yes.
My work is kind of centered around just making sure people know what the hell is going on up there, because it is kind of mystified. It's like, oh, well, that's the state level politics, and you might not hear exactly about every bill that passes, but it's like
an onslaught.
It's an
so
onslaught.
Overwhelming at the federal, state, and local level. There's just so much happening. I can understand why people get overwhelmed.
Even people who aren't paying attention probably get a sense that things aren't going well in the state of Iowa. As Iowans, we have a responsibility to build a future for the next generation that we can be proud of, that they can sustain living in. You're a mother. How does that experience inform what you would like to do at the state legislature?
Oh, everything is affected by my kiddo. I know she's off camera, but she's over here crafting. She's what I like to call a future artist. I would love for her to be able to have a professional career in the arts. And for somebody who's not raised with generational wealth, that is a real challenge for her. I want her to be able to go to school and to work freelance and to do all of these big adventures in life, because she's just that type of person. She's so amazing. And she's a strong believer in LGBT rights. So everything I do is informed by what she's passionate about as well. And I really want to hand it off to the next generation better than I found it.
I think that's something that's missing in the state legislature right now. It's like, all right, a lot of this seems like a short-term gain.
Yes.
Or a hot button, like we owned the libs on this one, but it's like, Are we
Yeah.
thinking ahead to the next generations that will inherit the world we're building right now?
64, I think, is the median age right now. It's so embarrassing.
Which, like, I hate to be that girl to be like, oh, all these old people, but it's like, there are more than old people who live in the state of Iowa, and they deserve a seat at the table up there to feel like they're actually shaping the state that we live in.
Yes, we have a sustainable future. We just have to fight for it.
We aren't quite in 2026, but that will be like go time for these
Oh, yeah.
elections. What are you hearing from Iowans that you talk to are their top issues as we get into it?
Oh, the people who approach me and talk to me the most, they are water quality and cancer rates are huge high. And I have a lot of people who talk to me about landowner rights. They do not want
The pipeline.
pipelines. And so they bring me information pamphlets and invite me to meetings. So that's been a really good conversation. And I like to tell people that my job description that I'm running for and the job title are exactly the same. It's a representative. So I'm just a person because I can't say that my lived experience is the lived experience of my entire district. That's unfair. But I can listen to all of them and really hear what they have to say and go represent them. Some folks, like Charlie Thompson and others in the House, are not listening.
What are some of your priorities heading into being a representative?
I have 3. I want to really do a good job defending healthcare, especially Medicaid, and accessibility in my district, especially rural areas. Education and the working class, just making sure that people in my generation have a sustainable future ahead of them.
That's pretty simple, and I think that it's something that people are begging for in their representatives. So thank you for stepping up, for running, for putting yourself out there, and for taking on Joni Ernst in a way that you probably didn't imagine would be such a ripple effect. That's how change is made, when people show up and they speak up and they're unafraid of facing their representatives and telling them how it really is for people who live here.
Absolutely. Very normal and well-behaved people can make good trouble too.
How can people support your campaign?
Check out my website. Visit mayforiowa.com to get more information and to connect with me directly. Do not be shy to speak to me if you're an Iowan and you have thoughts and feelings about this and you want somebody who gets it. Please reach out and make that connection. Don't be scared and go make good trouble.